Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a rut in your business and you just don't know how to take it to the next level? I have some great tips for you in this video. Usually I tell my clients to focus on the positive first, just to overcome their brain's natural tendency to be negative and feel overwhelmed. But not today. Today, I want to share with you 3 places where you can lean into that natural negativity, and that will really move the needle in your business. My name is Risa Haasbroek, and I'm a business and life coach, and I help solopreneurs build their online businesses faster and with less effort. I want this channel to be the go-to channel for any solopreneur who wants tips and techniques that really work. So please subscribe, like this video, smash that notification bell so that you know when I drop the next truth bomb that will give you the edge in your business. Yes, usually it is better to neutralize all that overwhelming negativity and get positive intentionally. But you want a more nuanced approach to business building, a more sophisticated one. And sometimes it is better to lean into negativity. To build your business in a big way, you've got to step out of your comfort zone and try new things. You know this, and I know this. That means sometimes doing things that feel a little scary, like reaching out to someone who feels out of your league. Are you ready to gather all of your chutzpah and go after what you want? I know, chutzpah is a very funny word. I can remember the first time I used that word, chutzpah. It was in the eulogy I wrote for my grandmother's funeral in 2002. And no one in my family knew what it meant. But once I explained it to them, they all went, yes, grandma had chutzpah. Chutzpah is a Yiddish word, and it means having audacity, boldness, gumption, fearlessness, all the things you really need to go for it in building your business. I just love the word. I think it has so much personality and it just rolls off the tongue. So let's gather all of our chutzpah and take on the world. Get ready for a game-changing tip that will make your life as an online business owner so much easier. I'm going to share the best way to make an audacious ask. Let's say you want to be a guest on a big name podcast, or you even want that host to be a guest on your show, or you're dreaming of the speaking gig at a very high profile conference. I have the perfect technique for you in these circumstances. The quickest and most efficient way to establish a working relationship with someone is to address any negative feeling they might have first. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but trust me, it works like a charm. Let's learn more about this powerful technique and how you can use it to make your biggest, boldest asks yet. I recently came across this insight in Chris Voss's book, Never Split the Difference. If you haven't heard of Chris, he's a very famous hostage negotiator, and he has spent years in some of the most hostile, violent, dangerous situations you can imagine as an FBI agent. According to Chris, the best way to deal with negativity, whether it's in a hostage negotiation or you just want to make a big ask, is to talk about the negativity without judgment or reactivity. And you know what? Research shows he is absolutely right. Now let's dive a little deeper into why this technique works so well. Your brain, all human brains, have a negativity bias, which means we pay more attention, we give more weight to negative experiences and emotions than positive ones. Think about it. How often have you felt the weight of criticism more than you ever feel the warmth of a compliment? That is your negativity bias at work for you. And this bias actually makes a lot of sense. It has to do with your survival. For you to live as long as you possibly can, you have to pay more attention to danger and threats than positive things. Think about it. If you stepped out of your house and there on the porch is a dangerous, deadly snake. I'm from Africa, so I know all about deadly snakes. There's a deadly snake on the porch, and there's a friendly neighbor waving from across the street. On which one should you pay more? Should you give more attention if you want to live another day? On the deadly snake. Now that is what's happening to your brain all the time. Again and again, it pays more attention to the negative than it does to the positive because it wants to keep you alive. But this is where it gets interesting. Now that you understand this negativity bias and know that you have it and everybody else has it, you can use that knowledge to your advantage. If you want to reach out to people who feel like they're a little bit out of your league, you know that they are going to have that negative feelings first. And now you can use that. You can build it and you can bake it into the way that you approach them. To calm their fears down and to make them more receptive of working with you, you are going to straight out label the fears, name it. Chris Voss calls this, I think, something like bathing the fears in sunshine or bleaching them from their potency. He calls that an accusation audit. List out all the negative things up front. And you know what? Lawyers use this all the time. When their clients go to court or go on trial, they would list out all the things that are accused of first. And lawyers call that taking out the sting. And you can do the same thing when you reach out to someone who feels out of your league. Take out the sting and make the acquisition audit, as Voss calls it. Now, let me give you an example to make this more real. Say, for instance, you want to reach out to a huge Instagram influencer and you want to ask them to promote your product. You could start, I'm suggesting that you start in this way. You are probably wondering what's the use of helping someone who has a much smaller audience than you. You start that in that way. And I know it feels like it's such a dumb thing to do, drawing their attention to that thing. But it isn't. You know what? They are thinking it anyway. So if you come out and you say it out loud, they are thinking, oh, this person is no fool. They get my perspective. They can see things from my side of it. It's a brilliant, brilliant way to do it. State the negative. Say it out loud or write it what they are already thinking. Start with the negative. It's like you take the wind out of their sails before they can even start accusing you. And you disarm the objections they might have by just stating out front what the negative is about this situation. But the next step is then to move on to the positive. Now you want to state all the positive things. You can mention how amazing your product is, how it's going to change the lives of their followers, and how good it's going to make this influencer look when they promote it to their audience. So gather up that chutzpah that we've been talking about. And once this video ends, go try this technique. And it's not a random technique. It's not just a tip I'm giving you. It's based in science, based in neurology, based in human psychology. I've used this technique before, and trust me, it really works. Like I said, like a charm. Let me tell you about two more ways that you can apply this brilliant insight of focusing on the negative first. The first has to do with anticipating the objections your potential client or customer might have before buying your services or your products. You know what they're thinking, right? It's too expensive. I don't have the time. I don't know if it's going to work. But what if you could address their objections right away and show them that you are able to solve those problems? Then you are more likely to make the sale. Let me give you an example of how I would use this in my own business. Many of my clients, I'm a business coach, remember? So many of my clients want me to tell them exactly what to do. they would tell me, don't give me all this mindset fluff, just give me the strategy, I will follow it step by step, and then I will be successful. It's important to realize that building a business, a one-size-fits-all kind of approach, is not going to work. If you think about it, every solopreneur has their own skills, their own talents, but also their own history, their own limitations. So yes, there are principles that apply to all online businesses, but there's not a simple recipe, a single recipe that's going to work for everyone. But many people don't understand that. They just want a quick fix. They do not realize that success is not only about learning the technical skills. In fact, a study by Stanford University shows that success in business has 88% to do with mindset. But this is where my knowledge of the negativity bias can come in handy. By speaking to their fears and their objections head on, I weaken the negative and strengthen the positive. For instance, I can start my sales emails or any sales copy in this way. I never tell you what to do. I never create your to-do list for you. I never help you build a beautiful business by giving you the bland recipe I give to everyone. I help you find the gold inside you so that you can make your unique to-do list. The to-do list that will move the needle most in your business because it's taking into account your specific talents and circumstances. And you see how this works? It's not that different from making that audacious ask that we started out with. It's using people's negativity bias in your favor. But speaking of mindset, let me give you a second additional way that you can use this idea of starting with the negative. This one has more to do with your internal mindset. It's very powerful and I'd love to share it. In fact, I shared it with a client not so long ago, and the next week she returned and said, "It works so well, Risa, thank you." It has to do with what I call move your butt sentences. And no, that butt only has one T. Let's think of a sentence that many entrepreneurs and solopreneurs tell themselves about their business. I want a lifestyle business that will allow me to travel more, but it's very hard to get that. In that instance, you started with the positive. You stated the business of your dreams first, and you ended with the negative. But we already know it doesn't work so well. We want to address the negative first. So let's see what happens if we switch those two phrases around. It's hard to get it, but I want a lifestyle business that will allow me to travel more. Now we are following Chris Voss's advice, right? We are first addressing the objections, the negative. And by doing that, we are making the positive at the end stronger. So you diminish the negative by putting it first, and you amplify the positive by putting it last. So when you catch yourself putting the positive first and then stating the negative, see what happens if you move the sentences, if you move the but, if you see what happens and feel how it feels. So I gave you 3 good applications where you can use this idea of starting with the negative. Gather your gumption and start applying it and start experimenting with it. And let me know how it goes. While building your new online business as a solopreneur, you often find yourself engaging in unhelpful behaviors, getting in your own way, sabotaging yourself, not working in your business for weeks and then working yourself to death, spending hours on social media instead of creating your own content. You want to know why this is happening, but you also want to know how to change that because you want to build your business ASAP, right? And this is what my free, the Solopreneur Survival Guide is all about. There's nothing wrong with you. You just have a human brain. And all you need to do is to learn how to toss your brain's standard operating procedure and learn to do something else instead. Within its pages, this little PDF document has everything so that you can teach yourself how to get out of despair again and again while building your business. Learning this will save you thousands and thousands of dollars and hours of work. Usually, information this good doesn't come for free. You want this guide. So go to my website, Resell for Coaching. I'll also give the link in the description, resellforcoaching.com, and there on the homepage, you will find the instructions how to download that free PDF. And now get together all of that chutzpah of yours. Start with stating the negative first, even though it feels scary, and feel the magic unfold.